now we will take you to the Grossman's model, which mainly talks about that health. When we started our discussion, our Grossman's model discusses mainly the health is being produced by the individuals, and health is now estimated in terms of health stock. Yeah, so health is health stock and being produced by the individuals. And when we estimate the health and health stock, we actually graphically we can represent that, but we are thinking in terms of investment towards health stock. Why do people invest on health stock? That's primarily because they want better health. And once they have better health, that actually results into the better productivity, and better productivity is higher income, so they can actually gain more and more through that higher income. But this investment, when we are doing a Grossman model, we have to keep in mind that this model or this framework differs from different socioeconomic backgrounds. So you need to keep in mind the work environment, the employment status, the education, the income, and all these things. And then we have to give relative importance to the inequalities existing in that particular society. So we cannot really take a particular society altogether and then estimate a Grossman's model. And when that we are utilizing the idea of that health as a producer, we are not basically taking the traditional demand analysis, and this the producer of the health is not simply a consumer, it is also coming from the healthcare producers. So when we are thinking of this the investment, then we also need to think that we could invest in some other areas, not investing for health. We could probably buy a TV, buy a car or something else, which I am actually gaining. But like if I am buying a car, I am utilizing that. I am buying a TV, I am utilizing that. So that's not actually the opportunity cost, because not investing in health, I am investing in something else, the consumption goods. But what happens if I don't invest in something else, I keep the money in the bank, I am getting some interest rate. So that is the real loss. At the same time, I am also losing something in terms of the depreciation, because every investment has a depreciation. Anyways, so when we are thinking of this investment, and so we must keep what is my interest rate loss in terms of interest rate, as well as what is my loss in terms of depreciation. So individuals value health, but they do not actually want to lose every consumption. So there is always a trade-off between the health as well as the consumption. And every investment has two effects. They don't only invest to get a return, but they also invest in terms of consumption, because one is consumption effects, which gives you or which gives an individual a better feeling, a better satisfaction when they are healthier. At the same time, investment effects, this is giving them a better health, which they use to earn more, to stay healthy and to be more productive. And again, to being more productive, more income, more affordability to have better health and better consumption of other goods. So when we take health as a human capital good to improve the human health as a capital good, then we estimate the health stock, if I can call it HST at time period t, will be dependent upon the previous this thing, as well as the depreciation of the health. Sorry, it should be minus the depreciation as well as the investment in health stock in time period t. So this health stock in time period t will be dependent, it has a time effect, will be dependent on the previous time period, the depreciation, as well as the investment I am making to improve my health t. And this health depreciation or health production, both will be dependent completely upon the efficiency of mine, so or of the individual who is investing on the health. So both of this consumption in term the satisfaction as well as the investment, or the consumption effect is as well as the investment effect, will depend upon the consumption and benefit, right? So both costs and benefit, both costs and benefit out of that consumption and investment. So, and they will do an analysis of this cost and benefit, and they will decide whether they will go for this investment or not. So in terms of the production process, if I am producing my health in terms of this production process, there are plenty of factors, right? And these inputs are not only healthcare, but also education, exercise, diet, income, and all this, and this finally produce through a production process, it will produce my health stock together. It's not only the whether I go to a doctor whether or not, and then this will lead to how many days I live healthy. Yes, if this is the production process given by the by Grossman, then we can actually think of two different models, where in one model we take health as a health production, where my health production, or it is my investment, right? When we are talking about the production, is a function of inputs, my time I spent on health, as well as my education. We can take education as a proxy of the income as well, and in terms of consumption, we can take different consumption elements. We are spending time for different other consumption activities, going for gym, not going for gym, and education. So these are the two models. We assume that education can be a important indicator in determining the investment level or its outcome. So, and after this, these are the in terms of the cost. If we are looking at the marginal benefit, then this marginal benefit will give me a rate of return, where this rate of return will be estimated by W, which is the wage, into G divided by C. G is the marginal product of health investments, so it will be W, which is wage, into G divided by the consumption direct cost in terms of investment in health. So if we plot them together in Grossman's model, then we find that the cost will remain constant. This is my health stock. The cost will remain constant, and my real cost, as I said, it's the interest rate as well as the depreciation. Interest rate, what I could have earned, this is the opportunity cost if I could keep the money in the bank, and this is my marginal efficiency of capital which I have invested, and this can be marginal cost and marginal benefit. So this is my basically marginal benefit curve, and then a person will have the optimal health stock over here. This marginal efficiency of capital curve goes down because of the diminishing returns to scale, and this particular point they will have a better health stock. When they have higher income, so their health stock will be more. With higher education or higher income, if they have higher age, their health stock will be lesser. So it has direct implication of age, education, as well as income. And once we put them in a in a 4-quadrant diagram, we can draw it like over here health, here consumption, over here consumption, and here health inputs. This is my production function. This is my this is my consumption possibilities, and these are my budget constraints. Yes, and I can estimate my amount of health input and health, and this is a 45-degree line, consumption and consumption, a 45-degree line. This is my production function, and this is my consumption possibilities. So this Grossman's model has a direct implication when how I am using my background variables to produce my health stock, and how I am not using, and how it differs from different socioeconomic behavior. So it is extremely useful to design the policy frameworks. However, it has got some criticisms. Is one, it ignores the insurance models. The other, it is like it has a constant investment over lifetime. Over the lifetime, over the age, the income differs and the investment differs. So we cannot really take it as a consumption. At the same time, it assumes there is a perfect information. When people have education, they have perfect information, and the health stock is better because they are using the utilization, they are utilizing their education, the information at the most. So that is not the case most often, and it is too deterministic in terms of the choices to make in terms of health stock. Thank you.